Hey K-popers, welcome back to Hallyu and welcome back to a brand new K-pop news roundup. We once again have a ton of news to cover this week, including Mina terminating her contract, NCT 2020 details, a slew of fresh BTS news, more evidence that Girls' Generation will be back soon, and lots more. Before we get started, a quick thank you to Hallyu's honorary producers. If you want to be on this list and show off your bias group to everyone watching, you can support my work on Patreon. Patrons also have a say in lots of videos before they're released, so if you want to leave your mark on Hallyu, come join us over on Patreon. Alright, now let's jump right in. This is your K-pop news roundup for September 27th, 2020. Let's kick this week's update off by talking about ex-AOA member Kwon Mina. It came out this week that she has terminated her contract with Woori Actors. Now, it would be an understatement that Mina has had a roller coaster year with the huge bullying scandal in AOA and her attempted suicide. Due to this, she recently left social media to focus on her health and recovery, and this feels like a logical next step for her. Woori Actors released a statement which says in part, this decision reflects the opinions of Kwon Mina's doctor, who hopes that she will be in a more free and relaxed state during her rest. It goes on to say, until she finds a new agency and decides to resume her activities, the company will provide her with unconditional assistance if there's anything she needs from the company. I'm very happy to see this stance from her now former label, since FNC did the complete opposite for her when she left the group. Now let's talk about NCT 2020. There was so much news about the album from the upcoming mega group thanks in large part to their Resonance live event Wish 2020. So, we know the group will now include 23 members. That's the 21 existing NCT members and 2 new members named Shotaro and Seung. There will be 12 songs on the upcoming album, with part 1 being released on October 12th and part 2 coming out in November. The album will feature the return of the Boss unit as well as several new units. Among these are the Make-A-Wish unit consisting of Taeyoung, Jaehyun, Xiaojung, Lucas, Doyoung, Jaemin, and Shotaro. This unit will be focused on pop dances with hip-hop beats. Other units include the From Home unit, which will be focused on ballads in multiple languages, and the Secret unit, which will have a retro hip-hop track. It sounds like we're going to get a ton of fantastic and varied music from NCT, so I cannot wait to hear this album. Now onto some more news. It is official, Dreamcatcher's Handong is back on Korean soil. Pictures of her at the airport confirmed last week's suspicions that a return was close, and she is now reunited with her group in Korea. In case you're not aware of what the ordeal was, Handong had left for China to participate in the survival show Youth with You Season 2. She was eventually eliminated, but unfortunately could not return to Korea due to the travel bans implemented. In fact, Handong's hometown is Wuhan, China. So she's been training on her own for months, and just now is finally able to return to Korea for future group promotions. And now let's get to our new tradition of catching up on BTS news for the week. First off, they held a home concert on NPR this week. The 15-minute Tiny Desk home concert was a surprising collaboration by NPR, but it was very welcome. Check out a clip of it here. Dynamite also hit number 1 on Billboard's Global 200 exclusive US chart this week, adding another number 1 spot for the song. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon is also having a BTS week starting September 28th. It'll include 5 performances on 5 straight nights on the show. And last but not least, BTS delivered a message of hope at the UN's 75th General Assembly. In this speech, RM stressed the need to reimagine our world, and Jungkook spoke to empowering people and giving them strength. Now, it feels like every single week these days the rumor mill is heating up and making someone like myself more and more anxious for official news on Girls' Generation. In a Q&A session this week, Sunny revealed she's ready for an OGG comeback when the time comes. She also revealed that she's planning a solo debut in the future, but isn't sure when. Also this week, Yuri revealed in a livestream on her YouTube channel that she's been preparing a special album with another member for the second half of this year. Unfortunately, due to several factors, the release has been postponed a little bit, but it still is in the works. Personally, I am dying to see my all-time favorite ship in K-pop, Yoon Yul, release a song together. Or perhaps we'll get Sohyun and Yuri Part 2, which would then open the door for OT8 activity in the future. As you can see, it's easy for someone to speculate and get ahead of ourselves with all these mini leaks from the members. Alright, now let's take a quick break before we get to more news to talk about some great new releases from the past week. Let's start with Everglow, who slayed everyone with the unbelievable 80s inspired song La Di Da. The Boyz are back this week with their new track, The Stealer. SuperM has yet another comeback force already called One Monster and Infinity. girl group Cignature released Arisong, which has been gaining a lot of popularity throughout the week. A brand new 5-member co-ed group named Checkmate debuted this week as well with Drum. Chung Ha released Bad Boy, a collaboration with Danish singer Christopher.
Bad boy, all the good girls think they need a bad boy, and all it's
Boy group Ghost 9 debuted this week too with their song Think of Dawn. Uptension released a new song this week called Light. And last but not least, we have another debut group, Some, who are born out of the disbanded group Neon Punch. They released the song Da La La this week. There were of course lots of other songs released this week too, so share the new music you've got on repeat down in the comments. Personally, I have been floored by Everglow's comeback. It is a serious contender for Song of the Year for me. And if you haven't checked out the rest of their mini album, add it to your list because the B tracks on that album are phenomenal. Now, speaking of Some, the group got off to a bad start this week as they received a ton of backlash surrounding an older video they uploaded to YouTube. In the video, the girls took DNA heritage tests and discussed the results. They made several controversial remarks and jokes, prompting their label A100 to release a statement apologizing for their remarks, and the video has since been deleted off of YouTube. Now, in a follow-up to last week's controversy around Fanatics, it has just come out yesterday that Chinese company Colorstar Technology is buying the group's label FENT Co. The deal is expected to be completed by the end of the year, and while it hasn't been confirmed that this was due to the CEO's actions last week, one has to assume it has a lot to do with it. Either way, the fresh start is much needed for these girls. Twice are having a comeback on October 26th. They seem to love October releases, so maybe there's another Halloween-themed Twice song coming. Card's J.Seph shared a personal letter to fans as his military enlistment date of October 5th approaches. Even though we all knew this date was coming, it's still really sad to see him leave, so I hope to see him back soon. And speaking of the military, SHINee's Key is officially done with his military service. SHINee is almost back. Big Hit and CJ joint label Belift has released fan etiquette guidelines after an awful incident involving Enhypen at Seoul's Gimpo airport. As you can see, Sasang fans surrounded the group despite distancing protocols in Korea and even caused some members to be separated from the group. Refund Expedition has finalized their title track. The group, which includes Hwasa, Jessie, Jung-hwa, and Lee Hyori, will be making their debut on October 10th. IZ*ONE's Yena sent a food truck for Everglow's comeback showcase. This certainly seems to start suggesting that Yena could be warming herself up to the fans and may end up joining Everglow after all. SM Entertainment's eponymous founder Lee Soo-man is participating in the production of LOONA's upcoming Midnight album. This willingness to collaborate on the part of Blockberry Creative makes me wonder if they and Polaris are looking to be acquired, since they do have some significant debts that they need to repay. SM could be looking at this, or maybe even Big Hit, since as I discussed in a recent deep dive, Big Hit has a new age strategy of acquiring majority stakes in other labels to get their groups. The CEO of label Mystic Story says he wants to debut a new girl group with a concept that is more authentic and non-conforming. Mystic Story was founded in 2011, and their artist roster included the popular second-generation group Brown Eyed Girls. SuperM is working with Marvel, and they've released a new clothing line with them. It sounds like both SM and Marvel are interested in working together more too, so I'm curious to see what the future holds for this relationship. You can add Ailee to the October comeback list. The legendary soloist is expected to make a comeback early in the month with a sentimental ballad befitting of the autumn season. Hong Seung, who co-founded Cube and was a former JYP president, announced that he wants to debut a new girl group. Hong was beloved by fans for his excellent leadership while Cube was at its peak, but got ousted by shareholders and subsequently formed his own agency, S2 Entertainment. Mnet is launching a new reality program soon called NCT World 2.0. Hopefully this means that they're paving the way for friendlier collaboration between SM and Mnet. Big Hit has announced the results of legal action it took against malicious posters trying to defame BTS. One individual in particular was given the full extent of the charges against him, including a 4 million won fine and prison time of up to a year. It's nice to see companies sharing the results of these cases now, not just telling us when the cases have been filed. Alright, now let's take a look at what happened on music shows this week. The week started off with Astro's Moonbin and Sanha taking their first win on the show for Bad Idea. Stray Kids then jumped into the spotlight, taking 2 wins for Backdoor on Show Champion and Countdown. And of course, BTS are still holding on to their momentum as they took another 2 wins on Music Bank and Show Music Core, bringing their total to 15 wins for Dynamite. Then, Blackpink and Selena Gomez rounded out the week with their second straight win on Inkigayo for their song Ice Cream. Will BTS continue to win next week and push ever closer to 20 wins for Dynamite? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Alright K-popers, you're officially caught up on this busy week in the K-pop world. Let me know what news stood out to you down in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss all the great K-pop news and entertainment that's coming to you each and every single week here at Hallyu.